That was perfect.
You got to have someone to tell a joke in between.
Yes.
You have to. That's why I'm like, come on, you can tell one.
Are you ever going to come to Self-Reliance Festival, do you think?
Every year I want to. I'm thinking of living free in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Every year I want to go to Nicole's thing.
Yes.
But it's the worst possible timing for me. It's just this time of the year. Like I was saying, I've been working like 120 hours a week. And it's just like, or maybe 100. I don't know. Can you work 120 hours? Anyway, so if you can, I've been. So I did the math one week and I don't remember what it was. And then I'm sure I exaggerated later when I was bitching. So I want to go. And the Self-Reliance Festival thing is big, right? You just went there. It's big, like size wise. I feel like it's big.
About 500, and they're shooting to be at 1,000. Yeah,
because I go to Jack's most of the time, and that's like 40 to 80.
Right?
And it's interesting. So maybe is the answer.
The reason I'm asking, I've had this idea kicking around in my head for a bit that I'm going to like fucking 6 prepping Self-Reliance type events this summer. Something nobody ever does is any stand up at this shit. Yeah. And I think we should do some sort of like half hour, an hour of stand up. Everybody, 4 or 5 guys put together 10 minutes of stand up. Yeah, fuck no.
Hour.
Yeah, no, I meant like 4 or 5 of us, right? And I would love to do that. It would be, yeah.
I have a friend that lives on the river or the lake, across the lake from me. Okay. And he's an actual comedian. And I reached out to him before Jack's last thing. And I'm like, hey, Joe, I need to like write some material. And I do know, and I don't know. Like,
right.
You don't know what you don't know kind of thing. Yeah. Right. So like, I think I can write material, but I'm not really sure, so I wanted to like sit down with him and be like, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? Whatever. Is my thought process correct? That kind of thing. And it just never worked out. And then I didn't do it. I was going to do like 10 minutes there. And I didn't mention it to anybody. I think I brought it up. Oh, that was the thing. The last time I was on your show on the comment the night when I called in, that's what I was like. I'm like, well, there's a thing I never disclosed. That was the thing. I fucking never got around to saying it. Yeah. So I want to do that. And I thought about it. I've always kind of, I've done a little bit, whatever, but I've always wanted to do it, like for reals. And I thought about it and I was like, oh, perfect opportunity is to do stand up for preppers.
Yes, because we're a warm audience already. Yeah, we already know, like we get each other. I would, yeah.
Because, but I'd need to figure out how to write for that. Like it's, it seems like it'd be super easy, but then I started trying to think of stuff because I drive 6 to 8 hours twice a week on my deliveries, and I'm just like, oh, what can I think about? And it's like I couldn't really, but it's. When you're trying to come up with a thing on a subject, it's fucking impossible. It's just got to come to you, and then you got to write it down. And then I never do. So, it would be cool. And I thought about that because I've been saying I need to come up with a thing to present at these things. Like I've presented at Jack's. I did a whole thing on microgreens twice, but it's way too much. And the things that I do, they're like, I'm sure I can figure out how to do it. Right. But like, growing microgreens at an event is like you got to have some microgreens to show people, right?
Right.
So at Nicole's, I could pack everything in the van and drive down and have like live trays that I take with me, and even bring like different stages of growth if I really wanted to. I could do something like that. But flying to Jack's, it was tough. Like I got there on a Tuesday or something, and he had planted some shit, and then I planted some shit. And then like the event started like Thursday night or whatever, or something like that. And then it was like 3 days of microgreens though, which was way too much. Like I feel bad. Everybody says they enjoyed it. I felt bad because it's like, you didn't need to listen to me talk about microgreens for 3 days straight. Right. Right. And that was back when he was just like one main thing at his events. He hadn't evolved it to breaking it up to 25 different things. Right.
Right.
So it literally was like, pay this much money to come listen to Jon Dowie teach you how to grow microgreens for 3 days straight. Now, if you paid attention and you were interested in it, you walked away with a fucking business class on microgreens, right? But no, I think one guy did it in Pennsylvania or something. It is what it is. But K-Bonk, my friend and I were talking about, he's like, you need to get the fucking old school with the cassettes. He like Captain's Log or some shit, but like, or like the doctors used to do. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. Because if I try to use a phone, I won't. If I try to use a notepad, I hate carrying shit like that around. And I sweat through it, even though I do have the waterproof ones, but whatever. And, but if I had this tacky ass little tape recorder, right, I would make it a point to use it, you know, because it'd be a thing. I'd be like, oh, I got to use that, you know. But anyway, yeah. So the microgreens presentation's tough, and then I did like Texas Prepper 2 greenhouse builds. That was tough.
Okay.
Because you can't sit there in front of people and teach them how to do it because you're building a thing. It's
right.
Like
you have to
stand here for 6 hours while I do this thing, you know. So like I did that at Perma Ethos, and we ended up building 4 of them, and I just kind of staged them out where like one's almost done and this one's like 2/3 and so on. And it looked like I was just fucking it up because it looked like I was just slacking, you know. But I did it on purpose so people could see like this is like a quarter of the way through. This is, you know, whatever. But it's like you just get it was kind of pointless. You just get the plans and build it, you know. So
when I put my presentations together, I do a lot. Like, I mean, I drive, but usually every night when I stop in a hotel, I do the full presentation out loud with you know, and because then you know what jokes hit, what jokes don't hit. The best way to edit a presentation is to do it out loud.
Like alone?
I'll do it alone or for Becky, one or the other.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've only ever just done everything off the cuff. I know that's
really.
Yeah. Like that whole presentation I did at Jack's for 3 days, like 98% of it was just off the cuff, right?
I'm like 20 hours in for each 1 hour presentation I do. It's just I just how I've always
I'm a fucking slacker in a lot of ways. So
I couldn't do it.
I'm bad. I've gotten much better, obviously, running all the shit that I have to run. You can't like fucking let things lag. Like I've gotten to that point where my mindset is like, if I can do it now and get ahead, I'm gonna do it right now and get ahead. You know, it's almost like a plague though now, because like I find all I do is do shit to try to get ahead, and then I don't take any time off. You know,
my problem is that so I could get up and do it, you know, from course but it's this thing where I want to be the best fucking person in the world of it. You know what I mean? Like I just have to, I can't not do it. It drives me crazy.
Whereas I'm accepted. I'm okay with just being like, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I know. And I can't
no, I don't really feel that way.
No, I know. I'm going to,
I'm bad at sit down and fucking plan.
I know.
Really bad at that. I hate it. And like, I just need to do it, I guess. But that's writing comedy, right? There's only one way to do that, really. Like you got to sit down and write shit down, probably, and
write it and then practice it out loud.
Yeah, at least bullets. So I could be the next Jim Brewer because I'm so tired all the time. I look high as fuck, nonstop, right? My eyes are always like this, so like, you know. So I could maybe steal some of his shit. Yeah, right. But he's pretty funny. I like him.
Which one's Jim Brewer? I don't know.
He's the guy that looks high.
Well, sure, but there's
he was on SNL.
Let me look him up.
I don't know how to explain him.
That's okay.
He's not like real. He's got a podcast that's pretty good. The stand-up is pretty good. It's gotten better over the years. Yeah.
Tom Segura. I've been pretty into him. I was for a bit there. I got into his.
He's got a really long head and like a beard, and he's kind of balding.
Yeah, when he was fat, he looked like me, and now he's lost a bunch of weight, so he doesn't. Okay. Yeah. Probably, or I look like him, or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably vegan. No, I'm just
kidding. Yeah,
dude, I saw a picture of Robert Downey Jr. yesterday, and I thought it was some other actor that's like really old, whose name I'll never remember. And he looked like total shit, and I'm like, what the fuck? And they're like, he's a vegan now. I'm like, knock it off, eat a steak. What's wrong with you? You know.
So Joe Rogan, Renegade Butcher, Josh, he sent me. We play this game where we send each other TikToks of like the most inappropriate or hilarious jokes we can find.
Yeah.
And he sent me one of Joe Rogan the other day, telling a story about how he was up late surfing TikTok or something, and he seen this lady. It said #vegan_cat. Oh my god, it was so funny. And I'll send it to you tonight because the poor
we call that animal abuse.
Talented. Yeah, that's what he called it too.
Absurd. I hate that. I hate all that shit. I don't know. Vegans annoy the shit out of me. I'm the guy that's like, I fucking hate them.
Let's talk about this for a minute. I want to. Okay, So a while back, Amy Dingman and I did an episode on, I guess, I don't even remember what we called it. I think it was a prepper news cycle. And it was, so the entire episode spun out of one of your Facebook comments. And the comment, what one? Oh, it was the fucking chicken feed one. And how you put something on. I was so proud of you. I mean, that's just what you do. But I was like, this is great. Because everybody was going on this whole fucking rant about how the chicken feed and, you know, whatever, right? It was whatever the conspiracy was. I've always appreciated about you, Jon Dowie, the fact that you'll call that shit out and you'll just put it there and leave it. And I'm like, oh, he is stirring up shit today. I appreciate that. Because
it's because I don't give a fuck. There's that. And it's because I don't have time or tolerance for bullshit. And that's like, it's all a fucking time waster, right? And it's just like sitting around trying, oh my God, you know what's wrong with my chickens? There's this grand conspiracy that they did something to the feed because they're opening egg production facilities and they want to sell more eggs.
Right.
None of that. First of all, there's zero proof in any of those statements. That's what the girl said. I watched that. I want that part of my life back.
Yeah, that video was awful.
Jake, by the way, Robinson shared to the goddamn Telegram group, and I clicked. I was planting, so I clicked on it and set my phone up. And this like twitchy fucking blonde girl with too much makeup.
That's where it all started.
Who I wouldn't even clearly like think she's hot, and I wouldn't even have fucking talked to her when I ran Hooters. But anyway, so it's terrible, I know, but whatever, get over it. So she going on and on about how she knows. I think what bothered me about it the most is she gets on there and she's like, I know why this is happening, and here's why. Like, it's fact. Like I did say earlier, state everything like it's fact. But if you're fucking insane, keep it to yourself, you know?
Right.
So like, then she goes through this long description of how like Purina or something has egg facilities, and because they're opening more egg facilities, that's why they fucked with the feed. Okay, listen, that doesn't prove a goddamn thing. All that proves is that this company that owns egg facilities is probably doing what they do every fucking year, which is open more egg facilities. Okay. Are you trying to tell me that they've never opened egg facilities before? You know, like, so I really, what it broke down to was this. And I listened to your show that night, and I don't remember if you touched on this, but the problem is it was fucking chicken moms, right? And it was all new chicken moms from 2020. All right.
Yep.
So what, you know, everybody here listening probably knows that chickens basically go no more eggs at 3-ish years, right?
Right.
Or at the end of 3 years. And that winter before that 3-year mark, they will not really lay eggs either, you know? In my experience, and I've only been raising birds for like fucking 32 years. We just figured this out the other day with my dad, right? Because I had a customer there, and they were asking me about this. And I go, look, I've been raising chickens for over 30 years. And then I was like, all right, it was 1988. So what is it now? You know, like, so that's how long, you know? And ducks, mostly ducks, actually. I know a lot about this shit. And I also can tell you there's a lot of there always has been just massive amounts of wrong bullshit when it comes to chickens and gardening, which is one of my most recent Facebook posts, which is I can't fucking deal with how much bullshit there is around chicken and gardening and bad advice. It's insane to me, you know? And it sucks because new people eat it up. Oh my God, I heard this thing, you know? But anyway, so you got these people that freaked out in the pandemic. And the reason I know that is because everyone was calling me in New Hampshire for fucking eggs in March when no one in New Hampshire has eggs in March. Okay.
Right.
And I'm like, we don't have eggs. It's New Hampshire and it's March. I didn't say it like this because we're talking customers, right? It was nice. But, we'll have eggs in around Easter is what I usually tell people. So that's a nice variable time frame. So anyway, Easter's a holiday that we have in the United States, but do you have that in Canada?
Sometimes, yeah. Every leap year.
Boxing Day, is that Easter? Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so Boxing Day. Anyway, so now you got 3-year-old chickens, and you got winter coming, and they're going into their second molt, right?
Right.
Point in like August, right around the time they all started. My chickens stopped laying eggs sometime, and everybody said sometime between like August and October, and it's that means they're fucking molting. And
Right.
then by the time they come out of the molt, so what they have it before their previous experience is this: first year bird doesn't stop laying eggs all year, pretty much, right?
Right.
Second year bird molts and lays you some eggs through the winter still. Third year bird molts and doesn't lay you a goddamn thing through the winter. That's how it always goes. So these people have 3-year-old birds now that just molted and aren't going to lay any eggs through the winter. Or maybe they'll get 2 or 3, you know?
Yeah.
And then do you hear from them now?
No.
Exactly. Because then fucking spring came.
Right.
And all their birds started laying eggs again. And you don't hear from them now. You don't hear from them now going, oh, my chickens. If they were sitting there now going, my chickens still aren't laying eggs, I'd go, wait, maybe there's something here, you know? But all I needed was one of them to prove anything. Like, take your fucking shitty Tractor Supply feed down to the lab. And then I had people telling me, oh, it's because they, this was the best one. Some lady that claimed to know what she was talking about, arguing with me about this on the social medias, told me that she thinks that they took out the protein and added more soy.
Oh, that's it. Yep.
Which is the fucking protein. In any standard feed, the protein is the soybeans. That's why it's in there, you know? And I'm just like, you have no idea what you're talking about. Like, get out of here with this. It's insane to me. I hate all of it. I can't. I have to dose how much I go on, because I try to do the right thing and go on Facebook and go into these like New Hampshire gardens or like whatever chicken groups or microgreens groups. And I try to select like rookies, you know, and answer their questions as much as I can. But sometimes I just fucking can't deal with it anymore. You know, I'm like, I can't do it today because these people are all idiots. Not the people asking the questions. It's the people answering the questions. And they're just 100% wrong most of the time, you know. But anyway, sorry, go.
No, that's what I wanted you to talk about, because it drives me nuts. And it's been something I've been trying to figure out for a while, because whatever the latest fucking... So I started an app, not an app. I started a file in my notepad on my phone called Shit We're Supposed to Care About.
Yeah.
And so for the next 12 months...
I like it.
Yeah, whenever it's something we're supposed to care about, I write it in my phone. And at the end of the year, I'm going to go back through and I'm going to be like, oh, hey, do you remember eggs? Do you remember the balloon? Do you remember Bud Light? You know, all that shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But whatever the issue is right now is the one we're not allowed to talk about. Like, we're allowed to talk about it as long as we're going along with it. But as soon as you question the fact that it is fucking, not a conspiracy, it might just be something fucking stupid, then you can't, you know, but whatever's come before, you can discredit all you want. It's just the one right now that you can't talk about.
I muted myself so I wouldn't interrupt.
That's okay.
Yeah, I got to get out of the habit of going, in the middle of what you're talking about. So, I think it ruins a live stream, and I do it all the time. Well, I just like, and then you should at the same time, you should simultaneously underneath it, you should write a little footnote of the shit that people should be paying attention to. Like, the war criminal in chief just fucking vaporized some poor bricklayer in Syria because they claimed they killed a terrorist leader, you know?
Really?
Father of 10, bricklayer, 70 or something, old, right? Drone strike because he was a super terrorist or some shit. And then now they're walking, oh, we made a mistake. Oopsie. And it's like, that's not enough. You fucking killed some guy with 10 kids. You piece of shit. Look, Joe Biden, I understand that you like kids a different way, but, you know, come on. This is ridiculous. You should do that. You should write down a little footnote.
I will.
That kind of
maybe
shit.
I will.
You gotta go find it though, and you'll drive yourself insane following the news like that. So maybe don't.
That's the thing. Yeah. My favorite example was last summer when we were all going to lose power because the big brownouts. Do you remember that scary map that said?
Yeah. You had a show about that.
I did, because I called the bullshit out on it. I'm like, no, we need to talk about this. And it wasn't anything. It was a nothing burger, in the words of Stephen Harris.
Yeah, I never even had. Actually, I did have more power outages at my grow room this year than I ever had, which could have been a whole conversation of this show, but it's probably getting a little too late on that. But so right now, this is my 5 days ago. Hey, public service announcement. Hey, Republicans.
Yes.
15 days until you shift your outrage from immigration to Pride Month.
I saw that post was fucking golden when I saw that. Yeah.
And then, hey, Democrats, prepare to switch from everyone who disagrees with me a racist is a racist to everyone who disagrees with me is a homophobe, because they need to be put on alert too, because they're going to have to switch their weird accusations, right? It's that all the time. It's insane. Like I still drink Mick Ultra.
Sure, whatever.
I know that's an InBev product. I don't like InBev. InBev can fuck off. But no one else makes a good low carb beer that's available. Like where I go, like in general. Last night I'm at this place. They didn't have. It's an Irish pub. Hey, how many low carb beers do you guys have? It's like, fuck you and drink a Guinness, so it's like, do you have Chick Ultra? Yes. Okay. Thank you. We're good. But I don't like to drink it. I just have to, if I'm going to drink. So, yeah, I don't, it's
that's the one now.
It matters because it's circle of influence, circle of concern, right?
That's it. There
are some concerns I have about some of this stuff, but it doesn't fucking matter because there's nothing I can do about it, No. And I get a lot of customers that are they're normal. So the customers I get that buy microgreens they're usually fine, but some of them can be insane. Sure. And then the customers I get that buy barrels are generally dudes that are in the middle of a project, which is nice because I could be like, oh, what are you doing with it? And then it's a good conversation. But sometimes I get them that want to talk politics, right? And I just go, look, see this property line? This is all I give a shit about.
Right.
This, I can control everything here. I don't care about what the fuck goes on outside this property line. I have friends that run for state office and friends that run for local office or whatever. And I'll go down and I'll vote for them because I like them, I generally don't even vote the federal lines. I just don't. I did vote for Donald Trump the last time because fucking Facebook kept telling me not to. I was just like, I'm doing this. Fuck you. Didn't matter, but whatever. So demonstrably why none of it, matters. So, yeah, I mean, it was a mess, but, I don't know how anybody can watch a girl on TikTok just to get back to the chicken thing. It clearly has no fucking idea what she's talking about, talk about the chicken feed thing. It's insane. So here was my other part though, with that. When I was a kid, we raised chickens and ducks, mostly ducks. Okay. And we got plenty of eggs out of them. I never counted like I did when it was a business as an adult. Okay. But I know there were eggs, there were eggs. Right. And I maybe had 20-ish ducks, maybe 30. Right. And we would get 18 eggs a day kind of thing. It was a lot of eggs. It was a normal amount of eggs as far as I can remember back. Right.
Sure.
We fed them straight cracked corn and that is it.
Right.
Okay. I didn't know what commercial feed was until I was 28, something like that. When I bought this house, right? And we got back. So I have a gap in there where I didn't have any birds when I lived in an apartment and shit. But when I got back into chickens and I went to the feed store to buy cracked corn, they were like, do you want poultry feed? And I was like, hey, yeah, I want cracked corn. And they're like, no, do you want poultry feed? I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that is. So maybe it was a thing in the 80s. I don't know. But we never bought it. We bought cracked corn. We bought 50-pound bags of cracked corn and we dumped them into a barrel and it made your hands feel soft. And then you dump it, and they'd eat it. And they laid fucking plenty of eggs. And I just it's insane to think that chickens can literally eat shit and lay eggs and corn, yeah, at a normal rate. And ducks need more protein, by the way. So how do you fucking think they tainted they would have literally had to poison the feed essentially, right? To make they would have to use some weird toxin or chemical.
Oh yeah.
That would make some chicken birth control, right? In the feed to make them stop laying eggs for a short period of time, what's the point there? So let's question that now. Why would they only do it for a short period of time then? Right?
Oh, because everybody got wise to it. That's why.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Because the big corporations suddenly gave a fuck about public opinion because we know that's a thing. So it's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. And it drove me nuts. In the beginning, what are you people talking about? And then I needed it to go away because it was nonstop. That's the other part is it's not the Dylan Mulvaney thing is still fucking nuts.
Oh fuck, I know. It literally
they sent the guy a 12-pack. Okay, I don't care. Why the fuck would I care? First of all, if you're drinking Bud Light, you got to evaluate some shit in your life anyway, unless you're look, if you can't drink real good beer for health purposes, you're drinking Mick Ultra. Okay. Bud Light's not the fucking way to go with that anyway. So if you're drinking Bud Light, it's just because you have fucking shitty taste. Okay.
the whole thing of this, like, it's like an earworm, right? So when we get in the car, when Becky and I go for a long drive, I want to put it on lithium or turbo. So that's like 90s grunge or 90s 2000s rock.
Serious? You have Serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
She wants to put it on whatever the latest pop thing is.
Ugh.
And there'll be like one banger for 9 fucking songs that literally make my skin crawl.
So,
And I just used literally. Okay. Anyway. Yeah. So I feel it inside me. Like it's physically uncomfortable to listen to this music. And that's how I feel about these earwormy things where people just keep beating you over the head with it. And it's, could you just fucking leave it alone? I don't care. Like,
And once again, let's say dumb blonde girl's, let's say she's 100% right. Okay. What the fuck are you going to do about it?
Right. That's what it comes down to.
You know, like, and then all these people always switched feed and they started laying. Yes, because you shocked their fucking system in the middle of the winter, and now they're going to lay eggs for 3-4 days. They're going to stop again.
Yeah.
That's how that works. Everybody has the old wives' tale about how to get your chickens to lay eggs again. Oh, feed them warm rice. If you feed them cabbage, if you feed them this, if you feed them that, blah, 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 blah. It's all great because it shocks them into laying eggs for like a week. And then they stop again. You know, it's just the way it goes. And why are you pushing your birds to lay eggs in the off season anyway? Knock it off. You're not a goddamn factory farm.
They only have so many eggs in them from when they're born anyway, right?
Yeah. So, and most of these people aren't going to slaughter. So what's the rush? You know?
I can tell you something funny here. So the other day, you were talking about how it's time for the Republicans and the Democrats to switch topics.
Yeah, outrage.
Right? Yeah. So I love being the voluntarist or the anarchist in the middle. It's really a lot of fun.
Because you get to shit talk both of them.
Oh, the other day. So my wife she goes and gets massages once a week or once every 2 weeks, something like that. Helps her back. So she finally talked me into going. And I went, this dude's cool. The problem with it is they talk, just constantly, right? You got an hour where you're there and it's just making conversation. So I'm like, I'm going to have some fun. And dude's an awesome guy and he's a vegan. And I'm like, oh, I bet I know where this is. So I start, kind of chatting and I'm like, I need to, I'm like, I'm really pro-choice, right? And I kind of just leave it there. And he's, oh yeah. I said, I'm just totally 100% in favor of a person looking after their own body, doing what they want, putting the food in it they want. I said, even for a woman, abortion, whatever you want. I know some people don't like it, but I'm cool with somebody making their own choice. He's like, yeah, me too. I said, and totally the same way with gun rights too. I said, everybody should have the right. And he's like, oh my God. I was like, yes.
Especially in Canada.
Because it bugs me. I love to try to play with people and make them see it and then fucking twist their head on it. Like, you can't have your cake and eat it too.
I've stopped referring to it as gun rights and started referring to it as the right to self-defense.
I like
because they want to argue on the other side, they always want to argue on their terms and their definitions and whatever their narrative is. And they almost always win at that these days. Well, they're starting to lose those more now. But so I refuse to argue on their fucking stupid grounds. So one thing in the US where the biggest con is the con in the Constitution. Who is that? That was John Bush or something. Anyway, so I think it was him. Or it could have been the guy in Florida, the punk rock guy that I like. Whatever. Anyway, so one thing that's interesting when people are like, we shouldn't be allowed to have this, that, whatever, right? And I always just go, what other natural rights would you like to arbitrarily restrict? Would you like to also arbitrarily restrict? Usually I can say the word freedom of speech also. So would you like to just be able to decide what people can and can't say? Would you like to be able to decide when people have the right to privacy or not then? Would you like to do it that way? Would you like to just decide that randomly we can quarter soldiers in people's homes, like just based on your fucking whims? So why are we debating the right to self-defense? It just makes no goddamn sense, right? Then my next part of that is they want to argue, like they'll want to talk about the Constitution. And then that's when I just say, look, people are born with natural rights. I don't give a fuck what they wrote in the Constitution. I have the right to self-defense and I have the right to decide how that self-defense is going to be executed.
That's exactly. I got into this with a Canadian the other day about that. And they go, well, this isn't in our, we don't have a constitution. We have something else. I said, yeah, but here's the difference. I talk about my American friends having inalienable rights.
Yeah.
And that basically means God-given, or whatever your belief is you born as a human have those. The only reason they wrote them down is so people won't fucking tread on them. Yeah. And I said, we can believe that too. You know, might put us in jail eventually, but yeah.
If you know anything about the Constitution, you know that we believe that for you.
Right. Yes.
It doesn't say American citizens anywhere in there when it talks about, all men were created equal or born with these certain inalienable rights. It doesn't say Americans were born with these certain inalienable rights. It says all fucking men. Imaginary lines don't apply. You know,
you just wrote it down. It's the same as somebody discovering if I take 2 rocks and put 2 more rocks together, I now have 4 rocks. Well, that's true. But if I write it on a piece of paper, you didn't make it any more true. It just exists. Yeah. You just wrote it down and defined it, you know?
Yeah. You wrote down 2 + 2 = 4. Congratulations.
So the language thing really bugs me. And I kind of, the whole trans thing, there's huge fights over the definition of words. And I really think what ends up happening with a lot of people is each person comes at it with a different definition of the same fucking word. Yeah. And they just fight at each other instead of sitting down and saying, hey, why don't we, what's the word for it? Why don't we discuss this and actually kind of figure out what you mean by this, what I mean by this? Yep. Because if I say to you, you know what I believe? I believe that you shouldn't steal my shit and you shouldn't hurt me. Almost everybody will say, yeah, I believe that. Or I believe everybody has the right to do what they want as long as they don't hurt anyone else. That's a really good jumping off point for everybody to agree. It's all this other shit that people get bent out of shape over that they spend all their time fucking arguing about that doesn't matter anyway. But yeah, there's my hobby horse for the evening.
Yeah, the issue I find with like the what'd you just say?
Language,
and then oh my god, don't take people's stuff and don't hurt them. Right, the non-aggression principle,
sure,
is that then people will start to interpret that.
Right. And then
stretching it the fuck out. Yeah.
Do you remember fucking Dude, Where's My Car?
No, I don't, but I did watch it, but I don't remember it.
Chinese food. They're going through the drive-through. She keeps saying and then every time
and they're like, no and then. Is that movie?
Yeah, no and then. Okay. That's the non-aggression principle because everybody wants to keep going and then. Yeah. No and then.
Well, like they want to argue like when they pass an infrastructure bill up here, they want to like argue what is infrastructure and they'll like fucking make it everything. And I understand how you can make that argument, right?
Yes.
But it doesn't matter because it's all stolen money in the first place. So, it's so simple. I just don't. But somebody in here mentioned that no matter what laws get passed, they'll still keep and bear arms. Yes. Like, so I get the people to show up to the house and they'll say like, well, they're going to come take your guns. And I'm like, good fucking luck. Because that's never happening. Like they can pass all the laws they want. I'm just not going to pay any fucking attention to them.
When it comes down to it, here we go. We fucking ran all the way around tonight making jokes about a fucking brick. And here we are talking serious. But when it comes down to it, everybody has to have that line that's it. It's the line, and if it gets trespassed on, heaven help whoever gets trespassed on, because that's the problem. Right. And again, that's the beauty of anarchism is that everybody has their own personal line, and it's cool because you can fucking believe whatever you want. I can believe whatever I want. And there's a lot of anarchists who get bent out of shape about people believing shit that doesn't agree with them, that maybe they're not really an anarchist. I don't know.
There's a lot of, I wouldn't say the anarchists, but libertarians.
Small L libertarians.
That don't fucking understand what it means because they became libertarians because Trump was elected and they think the word liberty is cool. Yes. And they started calling themselves libertarians and they ruined a lot of that because now when you talk to somebody who doesn't know what's going on, they're like, oh, libertarians, you're just Trumpers. And it's like, no, there's just a lot of fucking stupid Trumpers that call themselves that because they think the word liberty is cool and the flag with the snake, and they have no, like you ask them, hey, explain the non-aggression principle to me. And they're like, the what now? They have no fucking idea what it is. And like, that's the basis, dude. Like if you don't know that, you can't use the word, right. Like stop it. And they want to argue about the tranny thing and all that. And it's like, look, I don't give a shit what an adult does.
Right.
At all.
I don't either.
I think the reality is it's more men than women doing the transvestite thing.
Probably.
This is my theory. Right.
I have a theory too,
Can't
but
prove
keep
that.
going.
I can't prove that. I think it's because men are fucking perverts. You know, we're way more sexual than women when it comes to, you know, that. And men, I think, some men get off on it, right? So like they dress up like a woman and they go out and they want whatever's going on in their head. So I don't give a shit. Do what you got to do. I've known transvestites,
Sure.
they're good people, whatever. You know, I think they have problems. I think they probably should seek help, but I didn't have anything personally wrong with them. And just because somebody might need some help doesn't mean I hate them.
Right.
So like,
and you're not going to send people with guns after them because of it.
No, absolutely not. But here's the but, right? And this is what seems to keep happening, where I think provocateurs push the line. And I don't think I think that your average cross-dresser, whatever we're calling it today, or gay person or whatever, fucking hates everything that's going on right now too, because I don't think they agree with it, you know? So like, let's exclude 99% of the people that are in those categories, right? Because they probably also hate what's going on, because they're being exploited to divide the masses, which is fucked up. But if you're a dude, if you have a dick or don't care.
Right.
And my wife's in the bathroom and you go in there, we got fucking problems.
Sure.
And you're a dude. Okay. We're done here. Like, I don't know what the dilemmas are, you know? If you're a woman that dresses like a man, it's all irrelevant because they don't have that power. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, they don't have the physical power probably. So to me, all that's like, whatever, you know, like, I'm just like, I'll handle that if it happens in front of me because I'm a man and I will.
But you know what? Okay. That's the same old okay. You remember back when abortion was the big thing and everybody said, well, what about, you know, it was always,
the little exceptions.
Well, let's deal with them on an individual basis when it happens. Just fucking let everything else, let people be exactly what you are, you know, like, here's my theory. I'll put it out there since we've been talking about it. But when you were in high school, when we were in high school, the edgy thing for a guy mainly girls to do was to go by their middle name. Remember? So if you were like, I don't know, she was, you know, Kim and her middle name was Sally. She's like, I'm going to be Sally from now on. And that's my new identity. Right.
Okay.
And that was just something that a teenager did. And then when my older kids were in school, some people are going to hate me for this, but some people would experiment with the other sex, right? That was just something they did. Now, a small percentage stayed there. Lots of them didn't. It was a phase. It was something they did.
That got popular when I was in college.
Right, exactly. Yes, that was
for 1 year in 1998, late 90s,
early 2000s.
Popular. And then I'm sure it grew. And I always just described it as they're trying it on.
Sure.
You know, but it used to annoy me because, like, I knew gay people that got their fucking ass kicked back in the day.
I know.
And it's like, hey, don't go running around telling people you're gay if you're just not sure.
Right.
Like, because there's people that really took a fucking hit for that kind of thing. And regardless of how you feel about it, like, they're doing their own thing. Fine. But there's people that, like, fought the real battle on that ground. And now you're just like, oh, yeah, me, you know, I am too. And then 2 fucking years later, they're not. You know, and that
teenagers. So
anyway, I worked in a lot of restaurants. So you see a lot of this shit in restaurants.
Sure. But that's the thing with teenagers in general was you go through phases because you don't know who the fuck you are. You try to figure life out and give them some freedom to, you know, kind of breathe and live and realize, you know, I mean, at my kids' school, there's been some kids already who've been like, hey, guess what? I'm a boy now. 3 months later, guess what? They're back to being a girl now.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a phase. And
ignore it.
Just let it be.
That's what they did when I was a kid. Ignore it. Okay.
Right.
And it worked. They worked their own shit out. I mean, maybe, you know, don't fucking totally ignore them.
Right. No.
Like when the little kid grabs the little boy, plays with the fucking dolls and brushes their hair, they're playing with a toy. Like, you just ignore it.
Whatever.
I think that most people in our world, people in our world need to be careful of the overreaction on stuff like that. Right. And I catch myself. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you know, I don't know. Like, one of my kids learned all his colors, right? And he says pink. It was one of the first colors he learned, pink. And I'm just like, oh, no, calm down, John. Not a big deal. You know, I didn't say anything, but my initial reaction was, because all this stupid shit going on, you know?
But also, that has probably to do with the generation we grew up in as well.
Yeah, 100%. Because we were very like, you're this or you're that.
Yeah, you know,
and if you're in between, you're a pussy,
right? Or other words that I won't say out loud on the internet anymore.
So we got to be careful not to react, and I think a lot of your standard Republicans do that a lot.
Sure,
but yeah, I mean, it's like it's nuts. But we were just ignored. I mean, there was a time when I think I was like 16 maybe, and I sat there for like 3 minutes, and I went, I wonder if I'm gay.
Sure. Yeah.
And then I thought about curling up in bed next to some dude's hairy ass, and I went, nope, not gay, and moved the fuck on. Now I get that some people may be differently motivated, but
that's
like,
okay.
It's just, yeah. I mean, but we had like the percentages it is social contagion. I'll give them that. Like the right to talk about that, and they're probably right about, especially with girls. That's where the problem comes in with girls. Like I know he said that most adult cross-dressers or whatever we're calling that are men. Okay, that's probably true. I think a lot of on the younger side, like under 20, I think it's majority women. Okay, because the TikTok fucking, if they see it, they want to fit in, and like teenage girls just always want to fit in. So like if that's what the thing is to fit in, they're going to do the thing to fit in, and that's the thing. So there you go. But
same reason
ignore it. And like thank God there's been a lot of weird shit coming out about the medical community. There's actually been some whistleblower type doctors coming out going, this is fucked up. They're just profiting off these people.
Yes.
And that I believe 100%. Like right in the beginning, I was like, this is just a way for them to sell more shit, and like I don't know if we've done the diabetes story talk, but I have fucking zero confidence and zero trust in the capabilities or ethics of the medical industry as a whole.
Sure.
Like absolutely none. Like I was fucking misdiagnosed for 10 years, even though I sat there telling them what it was, and now I have permanent nerve damage. So they can all fuck right off, and then it's so like when I can see it now because it's pattern recognition after a while, you can see it, and it's all just one complex with the ag,
right.
The food, the drugs, and the fucking medical field. It's all the same thing. It's all just one big, let's make a whole bunch of money.
It's a big system that's all spun the fuck up. And every system wants to protect. I mean, whatever living entity it is, the last thing you want to do is die, right? So it's like Kodak. As Kodak was dying, instead of embracing fucking digital technology, they put out a new film because that's the only thing they know how to do, right?
Yeah.
And so these systems, they get spun up and they want to just keep living, and they do whatever they can. And here's the other thing. I don't know if it's done out of malice, if it's done out of self-preservation, or if it's just like, I don't know. I don't know if it even matters. It's the fact that it just happens. It happens.
You and me, it doesn't matter. To people that want solutions, it doesn't matter because you're not going to stop it.
No.
I do think it's malice at the top 100% of the way. Like, I think it's all fucking malice at the top. I think down through the ranks, I don't believe it's malice. Like, I have a primary care physician that I really like, but he's very standard bullshit medical, right?
Sure.
Now, I'm smart enough to know how to manipulate that for my own good.
Right? Yes, I understand completely.
Because I've been through the shit, right?
Right.
If I had him as a doctor 20 years ago, he would have been a huge fucking problem for me. Maybe. Because he would, maybe not actually, because he'll just do whatever I tell him. So maybe he was the guy I needed in the beginning when I went, dude, I think I'm a type 1 diabetic. Can you run a test? And he would have been like, fuck yeah, I'll order it. Maybe he would have been that guy. But he's the guy that's like, I walked in and I went, dude, I eat 8 ounces of ground beef a day and a cup of broccoli, and I fast all day, and I have heavy cream in my coffee in the morning. And my A1C is excellent, and I don't take a lot of insulin, and I cannot lose 1 pound, right? And he's like, oh, do you want Ozempic? Like instantly. And I'm like, fuck no, I don't want that. Are you insane? Because I've done my research on that too, because I know what's available to me drug-wise, right, to try to lose weight. And I know which ones may or may not have long-term side effects. And I have tried a couple to try to push it over the plateau, and they didn't work anyway. Because most of them are just an appetite suppressant.
Right.
You don't need a fucking appetite suppressant if you're fasting all day anyway and eating 8 ounces of ground beef and a cup of broccoli every day. You don't need to suppress a goddamn thing at that point. So, like, pointless for me, And I'm sure we're going to see during Maury Povich, if he's still alive, we'll see the fucking commercials, with the lawsuits in 10 years for Ozempic,
You're right.
So, because that's probably the other part of that whole thing, though, is those lawyers. But, yeah.
How do you decide? So, okay. I mean, here's the one that I love. I mean, we all know keto fucking works.
Yeah.
But most, like 95% of the established medical community says that is the wrong way to go, right? So we know, I through personal experience, we know we're right on this, right?
Yeah.
So how does one decide that you're right on something and you're not just fucking deluded yourself? I've been struggling with that lately.
Yeah, I think you have to, I think you have to think about that to keep yourself in check, right? If you're not doing that, you're not being honest with yourself, right? You have to doubt everything you think you know.
Right.
For sure, and I do it. Sometimes I go, I wonder if I should work in more X, Y, and Z, right?
Yes.
But see, I have the superpower of not producing insulin. So, sure. And I have this thing attached to my body at all. It's actually a little high right now, but I have this thing telling me what my fucking blood sugar is 24/7. And I can tell you exactly what any food does to you because of that. You know what I mean? So I can tell you that when I eat high protein, low fat meat, I get a very long lasting increase in blood sugar. Sure. It's actually somewhat difficult to control because protein slowly converts to glucose. Everything converts to glucose.
Yes.
But protein does it a little faster than fat, slower than carbs, but over a long span. And if it's a lot of just protein, like say 8 or 10 ounces of something, and it's lean meat, like chicken, right? I get the fuck you for like 6 hours. I know how to control it, so I'm okay. But like, I know it's there, right? If I eat a ribeye and broccoli cooked in,
butter,
tallow.
Oh, okay.
With a homemade cheese sauce. That's basically an Alfredo sauce made with cheddar, right? That's like the majority of my diet. I don't get a spike in blood sugar, and I get a very easily controlled rise, right? Because you're going to have a rise, right? If I eat a sweet potato with that meal, I'm fucked. So right up to the roof, right? If I eat a real potato with that meal, I'll fucking see you in 3 days because like I'm going to be in a coma, right? So I can tell you when people tell you have to mix in more healthy carbs, they're fucking full of shit. That's wrong, right? Because I know exactly what the glucose or the insulin response is to that. And hyperinsulinemia is not a good thing, So like pumping your body full of your own insulin is just as bad as your shitty diabetics that eat donuts all day and just blow fucking insulin in themselves. So like I have that. I know that's not absolute proof, but I have that thing. And like, I have people in TSP land, like Jake will ask me, hey, can you try when monk fruit was a thing? It came up as a big thing, right? It was new. And they were like, hey, well, what do you think? And I'm like, I don't know. Let me get some, see where it goes, And I got some monk fruit sweetener, and I took some super high fat yogurt and I added some like vanilla extract to it and some monk fruit, and I ate it, and it didn't raise my blood sugar any more than just regular yogurt would. And I was fasting.
Wow.
And, good to go. Monk fruit's great. Doesn't have a glucose response at all. And by the way, the stuff about people are like, oh, anytime you eat anything sweet, it triggers a glucose response. That's fucking bullshit. Like I drink diet Dr. Pepper all day. Yeah. It'd be blowing insulin into me nonstop if that triggered an insulin spike. You know what I mean? Or whatever. It triggered a liver dump of glucose. That's what they're saying. So that's not true. So a lot of these artificial sweeteners, there's a good channel, Keto Connect or something. It's a husband and wife, and they do that. They do like, they're not diabetic, but they have glucose monitors and stuff. And they did all the artificial sweeteners. And I think the only bad one was like maltitol. So it's easy to remember because mal means bad. So avoid maltitol, I guess. I've never seen it. So I don't know.
So how do you, like every one of us have seen the realistic or the real world results from keto, and we know it works. I mean, it's hard to argue with any of these, right?
Yeah.
But how do you separate that from chicken feed? You know, this, you know what I mean? Like, how do you make sure you don't fall for fucking, you know, there's gay frogs or drugs in the chicken feed, you know, like, because
for me, so before I knew I was type 1 diabetic, I was I was diagnosed type 2. I lost 120 pounds, right? And I did it by doing the paleo diet, right? Whatever we were calling it then. And 2008 or something. I don't know. It was a while ago. And I did it by doing that. And while I was doing that, now this is all just more, you know, I'm not a fucking scientist.
Sure.
So it's all just whatever, you know, what's it? Anecdotal.
Yeah.
So my grandfather was in excellent shape, right? And he ate a lot of ribeyes and a lot of bacon and eggs and a lot of pea soup, which I don't eat. But and he was in great shape. You know, he died from prostate cancer. He was like 88 or some shit, right? And he died from prostate cancer before they caught that, you know, like before they were like, oh my God, you have prostate cancer. Let's just do this one thing to cure you. You know, he died in like 1984 or something. So I remember my memories of him are he's excellent shape in his 80s, right? Then the other men in my family eat like fucking assholes and they're fat and they're always out of shape, right?
Right.
And I was raised more with that, right? And I see people in my family, blood related to me, that eat wheat and they're super horribly inflamed. You can tell. And I know because I ate this way for 30 years, right? Basically. And then stopped. So I did it this way and then I didn't do it that way. And holy shit, the results are insane. Like you're describing, but I have I have 14-ish years of that. 12, 14, what year is it? 2020, what? 3?
Yeah. 15 years.
I have 11 years of eating low carb almost all the time, at least low carb. And I don't call it keto. We have to be careful. Like it's only keto if you're counting shit. Okay.
Right.
It's only keto if you're like, I'm counting all my macros all the time.
You don't really need
a low carb, high fat diet if you're not counting, right? I get, that's another, like, put that on my list of shit I bitch about. But like, so I don't eat keto, I eat low carb, high fat, you know? But, so I don't know. Like I do think about it. Am I wrong? Right. But the times that I've tried, like I've had doctors say you need to eat more healthy carbs. I try to work shit like that in and it destroys my blood sugar. And when I have high blood sugar, I get neuropathy, inflammation. I can't really walk. And I get really, really, really sluggish and tired and I fatigued and like overall, like the definition of that word fatigue, the real one, you know?
Yeah.
And I can't perform and I have to perform, you know? So there's no time for not performing. So like, yes, K-Bonk, I do react differently, not to different pork from pork. Who's he asking? Do I react differently?
From pork products.
Pork I don't do well with pork or chicken. And I think there's a amino acid in it that I can't remember the name of that kind of bothers me. I do best with beef. I saw Nicole Sauce talking about that today on social media. I do. I feel like if I'm having a bad few days, not feeling great, and eating a lot of hot dogs out of the microwave, and like I do that a lot.
I understand.
Because I'm here working, put the hot dogs in the microwave, put some shitty sliced American cheese on it, and some ketchup, and fucking call it a day. Right? There's my one vice: ketchup.
I love fucking American cheese. Oh my god,
dude! Sliced
we don't have it up here.
Cheese. It's such dog shit, but it's so good. So pork. I just bought a half pig this year. And I have noticed that, like, I don't feel... So when you're me and you do what I do, you're super fucking in tune with how everything affects you, right?
Sure.
Pork I don't do as well with, just like I don't do as well with chicken. It doesn't make me worse. It just won't make me better, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Beef will fucking cure me.
Oh, beef, I know. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Broccoli, I do great with broccoli. I do great with Brussels sprouts. I do great with asparagus. And green beans. And that's another thing I hate is when people keep saying that one phrase over and over to make a point. I do great with. I hate it. I just did it. Anyway, so like those 4 vegetables I do fantastic with. I can't eat fucking cauliflower or cabbage in bulk because it just, cauliflower is the one. The cauliflower pizza crust idea.
Oh, yeah.
It's delicious. Yeah. Someone might as well be twisting the shit out of my stomach when I eat that. It's so bad.
Cabbage does.
It's so good. So, I found recently that I do have some negative reactions to dairy, which is a real fucking bummer because I can't give up another thing. So I still do heavy cream. I did cut out yogurt as a dessert, and I just cut out desserts. I've done like almost 3 months, I want to say, or maybe what is it? The end of May? Jesus Christ, 4.5 months of really clean, like literally like I eat when I'm hungry, but generally it's once a day, right? So if I get hungry at 4, I will eat. I don't go no, you know. And when I say clean, I mean like hot dogs are, there's nothing, ask Ken Berry, there's nothing wrong with hot dogs. So, all right. So I'll do that. Like if I'm on the road and I need to eat something, right? I'll hit a 7-Eleven, just get a couple beef hot dogs. Just there you go.
Yeah.
Done. Good to go. Back out the door, right? And then 1 meal a day at the end of the day, super clean, beef, vegetables, sometimes not even the vegetable, right? Or meat, vegetable.
Oh,
that's it. And then coffee with heavy cream, no more than 2 cups a day for me, because I get super dehydrated. I drink fucking diet soda. It's the worst thing I do. But no desserts now at all, really, for like 3 months at least, maybe 4, right? And I mean, like one night I had some fucking yogurt and I wanted to kill myself the next day. I felt like shit. It's like when someone's just doing regular paleo and then they have their cheat day and eat a whole pizza and a quart of ice cream and they want to die.
Oh, yes. That's like
it was
when
that,
we go to the city.
It was that for 1 cup of yogurt. Like good whole fat Greek yogurt, you know? So like I've super cleaned my diet up and I've definitely felt the results in energy. But right now I'm in this spot business-wise where I have to perform. There's no such thing as a day down, right? So like I have to just keep it going. I just got to keep the fire stoked, and you know, that's that. So like, you know, I'm trying to do some things. I'm trying to accomplish some shit. We should have got into this 3 hours ago.
I know. So, okay, we really should wrap it up. We've been 2 hours.
What time is it?
So it's
2 hours and 15 minutes. I'll do another 45 if you want. I don't give a fuck.
You know, okay. Do you remember when you were on? So I looked it up. It was fucking episode like 74 last time you were on.
Yeah.
We're episode 311. So it's
a while ago. I'm going to listen and turn my fan on while you talk.
Sure.
Go ahead. Keep talking.
It's been like 1.5 years. And I keep saying every time you and I get on a show together and talk, it's fucking magic. I know neither of us could probably ever commit to doing a weekly show, you and I together, but fuck, I would love to do that. Because if we just did 2 hours of fucking rambling talk radio once a week or once a month, it'd be fucking awesome. Yeah. But I know we're both so fucking busy.
I'm supposed to do a weekly show with Drew Sample every week about microgreens. It hasn't happened in over a year.
I know.
And then I was like, I really need to get back on YouTube and do some videos. And I did a couple, like just quick. I decided to get back to the roots on that, where I used to just say, fuck it. Oh, there's this thing happening. I'm going to grab my phone. I'm going to shoot a video, talk about it. No production whatsoever. Put it up. Right.
Right.
I don't even really go back and do the things I should do, like put my stupid Amazon thing in there. Like I do that way later. You know, when the luster's off.
Yeah.
So, and I immediately got orders for flats because I sell microgreens trays online. And, when I was doing more YouTube, I got more orders, obviously, right? Because there was more attention to the channel. And I immediately sold like 2 cases or something, you know, whatever. I made like $50 or some shit. I don't like, I'm taking insulin. Hang on.
No, it's fine.
So, do you want some? So, yeah, no, I love it. I pull this out. I pull this out anywhere. I don't give a shit. I'm just like, I got to shoot up. You want some? So, yeah, I have to put it in my meter so I don't double shoot later. That's bad, because then I'd have to eat a candy bar. I'm looking at a whole box of Kit Kats above me. Anyway, so once a week or whatever, once a month, once a week, whatever you just said. Yeah, I would love to commit to this stuff, but that's where I'm at right now. Is like,
So
I have a 2-year-old.
I know,
and I have one fucking mission in life. And I don't care about anything else. And that is make him awesome.
Yeah.
Right. Make him as smart as I possibly can. Make him smarter than me, you know, and that's it. And I, it's not a parent world where I'm like, he needs to have all the things I didn't have. Fuck all that shit. I don't care about any of that. I want him to just be smarter than me. So anything I see him doing that's like productive, you know, like he likes to play outside a lot, but he wanted to go out the fucking front door all the time where the road is. And we have a big backyard. And I'm like, he likes to go to the playground and swing. So I'm like, I'm fucking building him a swing set. Right. Now that would have been spoiled as rotten for me when I was a kid, right?
Sure.
If we had a swing set, holy shit, that would have been like the biggest thing that ever happened in my life. But I'm like, no, fuck that. That's productive. I want him to be outside. I want him, burning energy off and being out. I just want him to be outside, So I built a swing set over the weekend with my dad. It was great, right? He's 80. And he was visiting for Mother's Day with my mom, and we built the swing set for Alex. It was nice. But I have one mission, and that's that he needs to learn stuff. I'm trying to he's going to homeschool, obviously. He's 23 months now. He'll be a year old or 2 years old in about a month. He's got almost his whole alphabet down. He can count to 20. He can count from 10 to 1 backwards. His vocabulary is enormous. He knows all his colors, all his fruits, all that shit, right? I think we're pretty far ahead of the game as far as the goal goes, right? That's sure. The goal. So like yesterday, I needed to come here to the grow room and I needed to plant 150 trays of microgreens so we could stay caught up, right? That happens 2 or 3 days a week.
I know. Yeah.
Barrels are happening. It's May. It's fucking rain barrels. It's planters. It's all the stuff. Deliveries are happening. Pickups are happening from the opportunity, whatever, right? I'm trying to make picnic tables to sell. I'm trying to make docks to sell. We got to plant our gardens. Some are production gardens. Some are just for us. All this shit's happening. So this is where I fucked myself up. This used to be what I would do and it wasn't a problem. Now I need to adjust, right? I went into a restaurant on Friday. He clearly forgot to order micro beets because he was out. And I go, hey man, you forget to order micro beets or what do you got going on? And he's like, oh, I fucking forgot. And I'm like, I can bring a pound tomorrow. Okay. Now in the past, that would have been excellent. Like cool, $80 or something, whatever. It's 40 minutes away, which sucks, but it's good to keep that relationship with your customer, obviously, So, but I could have sent her,
Yep.
deliver it, or I could have delivered it and it would have been a big deal because we didn't have all this other shit going on. New World though is different. So it was raining like a bastard yesterday. Right. And she was like, I can go. And I was like, yep. All right. It's ready. It's here. If you want to come get it. And then I stopped myself and I went, nope, I don't want her taking my kid, throwing him in the car, putting fucking video on the tablet. Cause that's,
yeah.
Two. We don't do it right away, but at the 2-hour mark, you know what I mean? He starts to
I understand. Yeah.
So like we put him in the car, we don't do that. And then at like an hour and a half, when he starts to be like fucking him, then we'll put something on that's educational, it's some Canadian broad, Caitlin or something. Anyway, I don't know. She's excellent. So I just thought you'd like that she's Canadian.
Sure. I don't like Canadians. It's okay.
So we'll put that on, whatever, right? Okay, great. But then I stopped myself and I went, I don't want her to do it. And then I didn't realize how bad it was raining. And I just called her and I said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take care of it. You stay there. But I've got 8 hours of planting too. And now it's 3:00 in the afternoon. You know what I mean? I also wanted to go to this thing last night. And that's where I fucked up. I shouldn't have gone to the thing. But anyway, so I drive the thing down. And then I also need to buy a rolling tool cart for here. And I stopped at Lowe's on the way back. I just over and over and over trapped myself with stupid shit. You know what I mean?
I know. I get you.
In the first place. I should have just moved on and said, fuck it. The $80 is the $80, whatever. I don't care. Anyway, I ended up not doing 70% of the planting. And now I have to do it tonight. And the whole point of this was I was really week after week here, I'm busting ass trying to get it 1 day off to spend with my kid.
Right.
That's it. Right. And it never happens, by the way. I get about an hour with him in the morning. I get an hour with him at night, and that's it. And he's a late riser, so he stays up wicked fucking late. I think it's because he knows I'm coming home, though. That's not good. So, like, I get like 2 hours I see him, and then I'm like, I need a day off to have a family day because that's another obligation. In addition to needing to do it, it's like she needs time, too, with me and not alone with him, But anyway, so it didn't really happen. It kind of happened. I did some work this morning at the farm and made some local deliveries. Like I hooked some neighbors up with some soil and shit, right? Stuff that's been on the back burner for weeks. And then is that Stefan Diggs?
I don't know. We don't get many people from Twitch, so it's great to see somebody. I'm just throwing it up there.
That would be badass because go Bills. So it could be his brother. He has a brother that's a defensive back for the Cowboys.
We'll say hello.
Not a big Cowboys fan over here. I'm a Bills fan. What do you want from me? So good to see you though. It's interesting. So, yeah, I'm just trying to do this thing. I'm trying to work towards this thing with him. Right. And, it's tough. It's a lot. And I'm just trying to do it. I'm just trying to man up and do it. And I have a lot of theories that have developed because of this, because it's just kind of like, yep, this is what it means to be a dad and be a man. You just have to fucking shut up and do the work, you know? And
yeah, I know. I do.
Right. And that's what you got to do. And like, you got to sacrifice the stuff for the good of it. And because I'm also thinking, it's funny because Spirko started talking about 7 generational thinking about a month after I started thinking about doing that, but I didn't put the name on it that he did. Right. I was like, we need a family plot. My family squandered land for generations. We need a family plot somewhere. I need to start setting this up so that generations from now that I won't know will have this, and I need to set it up legally so they can't fucking ruin it. And that's what I want, you know, like that's the goal. And my comfort and my time off and like to do other shit is irrelevant. Like none of that matters to me. You know, I just need to do this mission, you know? So
I get you.
It's a little bleak, I guess.
No, I just, it's a struggle because, so Haas asked if you can hire help yet.
I do not have one employee.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
This is what okay.
So it's very hard to hire people on the books, obviously.
Yes.
I have one intern.
Sure.
So, but
unpaid intern. Yes.
Yeah. What I did was I hired or I have verbiage. Like anybody's going to watch this. That's not what I meant. Like anybody like that is going to bust my ass. Anybody who's going to bust me is not going to watch this. Right.
I know.
So,
my Fed gave up an hour and a half ago. So
yeah. Right. He's like, Jesus, this guy won't shut up. So, I have someone.
Yeah.
This is a recent development. I also have a fucking excellent babysitter, but she's not very often available. So, because she has a prior obligation for that.
Yeah.
My neighbor's nanny. She's fucking awesome.
Oh.
So, she like teaches at a daycare type thing. She's a nanny. She's like, this is her life kind of thing. And so when I have her in to babysit like once a month, and I go, I need to know where he's at because I don't know other kids, you know?
Yep.
And I'm like, I just want to know where he is measuring stick wise. If he's behind, tell me he's behind. If he's way ahead, tell him he's way ahead. I just want to know where we're at, you know? And she never really gives me a good answer though. I think she thinks, because people are like, you're not supposed to compare your kid to other kids. I'm like, fuck you. I'm going to compare all day. Because I want to know. Yeah, I just want to know where we're at. That's all. But anyway, we have a person that I help that is here to help my wife because my wife does work 2 days a week harvesting at least, sometimes 3. Because we have to have that. There's no fucking way I could do that too. So she comes here and she handles all of our order coordination, my wife, texting all the chefs, putting the orders together, the board, and then harvesting, making sure the right stuff gets harvested, washing, drying, packaging, getting the orders ready, generating invoices. It sounds like I don't do a fucking thing when I do that. So I just drive around. Yeah, right. But she does that, and she needed help because it's kind of crazy. We got this girl in to help her, and she after like 3 weeks, she goes, "Did you used to just do this alone, or was there somebody else too?" And she's like, "Oh no, I just did it alone." And the girl's like, "That's fucking crazy." So if you want to establish respect from your whatever intern, employee, whatever, right, do that. Be like, "Oh yeah, I used to work some impossible task," and then have them go, "Oh my God, you used to do this," you know. So I need another though, like another, but I don't think the money's there because we like just big $1,000 expenses after another just keep coming at you, you know.
I know.
We had to buy another fridge. I just built 2 new grow racks. That's like $6,000, you know. Ooh. Like it's like math. We've leased another room, so we have another room adjacent, like the other side of the wall behind the monitor I'm looking at. There's another room over there we leased. I moved all my planting and germination over there. And I have all my growing on this side, and this is the packaging room and my like little desk. That's another fucking $1,000 a month with electricity, you know. And then my electric bill is $1,300 over here.
Of course, it is.
Like just fucking one hit after another, right? So and then the transmission in the van went a year ago. You know, just everybody that's listening that runs a business knows how this is. You know, I'm not special in that department, but it's like, then hire someone else. Like, I don't know, man. I don't think there's money there because I'm not paying me like all the time.
It sucks. So I I hired a guy, an awesome kid. I call him a kid. He's fucking 28, but his name, yeah, Nick. He's a great guy. So it's the first time that I've actually had somebody that I was paying to look after shit while I was away. It was always before, like, hey, brother-in-law, can you watch things in case I get a call? Or, hey, son, can and it sucks because you hate to lean on people that way, and you can never leave and fucking think you can actually relax, Well, this guy just fucking knocked it out of the park, man. He did everything for me and went above and beyond, and it was incredible. But it's taken me a long time to even think about doing that,
Yeah.
Oh,
it's scary too, because they can fuck something up.
Oh yeah,
it could be big. In your world, it could be big.
Well,
like it could be like big damagey type thing, right?
I met with two guys the other night to sell all seasons maintenance, my handyman side of the business.
Wow.
It's fucking weird how it's happened, Wow. But since what are we right now? We're into May, right? So say 2 weeks before I went to Nicole's until now, it's a blur. I have had not 1 minute to do. Like, I feel like even my content has suffered a little bit because it's just been everything, right? It's getting ready for events. We came, and this is all, I mean, we all want fucking success. So this is what we do, but we bought a couple of rentals, and before we left to go to Nicole's, this one that was just barely started being renovated was rented for June 1st.
Oh yeah. So I remember you saying that.
So I'm back every single day. I have been over there trying to get this all put together. It'll be done, but it just feels like nothing else. I know it's, what is it? The urgent versus the important, I know I've like my review videos, my content, I know where I've brought them up to this level. And now I feel like I can't do that level while I'm doing all this shit. And I just can't wait to get this is going to sound, I can't wait to go to this event that I'm going to, and I'm going to put my all into it, but I can't fucking wait to get back so I can start doing shit again,
Yep. I understand that.
Oh,
when I go to Jack's every year, it's like, I really enjoy it, but right before it, I'm like, I just need to get this over with so I can move on.
I know.
Because everything is, I think you have to think that far ahead all the time, no matter what, though.
You do.
That's all you're really doing, I think, is like, it's definitely stress. Like anything that's an obligation is stress. It's funny because if you knew me 10 years ago or whatever, when I was a restaurant manager, I had obviously shit that I had to deal with responsibility wise running a restaurant, but that's like small ball compared to anything right now. And on days off and outside of work, I didn't want any obligations, right? I never want, oh no, do you want to make dinner plans with our friends? No, because then I'm gonna have to fucking be there at a certain and it's gonna be my day off, and I'm not gonna want to have to be somewhere on my day off. Now I don't even know what the fuck a day off means. Is that a thing? People do that still? No. So like it's like whatever. Now I tell her like this is our new plan. Mm-hmm. And so like part of the problem that I have is I won't do that. I won't take time off unless there's a plan that I have to meet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I will just fucking go. Like wind me up and see it. Like you on December 1st, I could just be work December 2nd because I go home for December 1st for Christmassy shit. And then on December 2nd, I'm back. And if there wasn't like tickets to an event or a plan for a day off, I will not take a day off. For 365 fucking days, I just will not take a day. I don't know. What do I do with myself? Because back to the diabetes thing, my other problem is this. I've learned how to manage this disease, and it's work or die. Because if I get up and sit on the fucking couch like some people get to do, right, and just watch TV all day, my blood sugar will stay at 180 all day, and I'll feel like
really?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I have to get up and move around.
Sure.
Now, I know a lot of people that are like, well, go to the gym on that day. It's like, fuck you. I'm never going to a gym. Like, I hate it. I hate physical exertion for no point, So I have to get up and get moving and start working. And then, okay, so in theory, I could get up and I could do a thing and then stop. I can't. Like, I'm going to start working, and now I'm in that zone. And
Right. So, again, this fucking renovation. I don't have, this is going to say, I don't have the ability to do other small shit when I have that on my brain. It's that fucking one, it's all or nothing with this stuff. And it's the weirdest fucking thing. It's either do that or sleep. And it's a weird obsession, but it has to be. I don't know. I don't know how to, well, I guess there's no fixing it. It's just, I think that's the entrepreneurial brain, right?
Yeah. And it only gets more, it only gets more of it. Like, or it only becomes more of it. Like the more you do it, because what happens with the entrepreneurial brain is you start seeing more opportunities all the time. And then the more success you might have or whatever, the more you're willing to do that other shit or whatever. You know what I mean? And you just start doing massive amounts of stuff like that. Like right now, this idea of like, let me buy a bunch of tools and build planters and try to build docks and try to build picnic. I didn't need that. I just fucking started. I bet you I can do this like 2 years ago. And this is the year I started doing it. That's all,
That's why I've been cutting out. So I have been dropping all the small stuff from my business for 2 years because I can't keep all the balls in the air. We've got her daycare, which is fucking massively successful. So I do a lot of that. And now we've bought rentals and I'm doing the property management. So I've had to decide. Anyway, we were in Lloyd last week. We went to look at fucking rentals up there. Becky's opening another fucking daycare. We don't need another daycare, but we're opening one an hour away from us. Yeah. Because we can.
Yeah. And I mean, if you can do that model and get the help and you're fucking franchising at that point, like there's things I could do, I'm sure, that are easier, but I'm like, it's tough, man. It's tough for me to go, like, I could be like, fuck microgreens, let's figure something else out. But it's like, there's so much that we've worked, into it. Yeah, and it's going on 8 years. So it's like, man, that's a lot of effort to give it up, whatever. But like, we have started kind of honing some stuff. Like I've eliminated, they kind of eliminated themselves, but like branches, my delivery route's fucking madness, right?
Right.
It's like Manchester, New Hampshire, south into Massachusetts. It used to go way out fucking west of Boston to Newton Wellesley area, right? Needham. That's way out, right? And then I'd come back in through Watertown where they found the Zarnaev brothers supposedly in a boat. And then it's and then it's into Boston, and then it's north along the coast to Newburyport, Mass, and then up to Portsmouth, and then up to Dover, and then back over to the Grove. It's fucking huge. It's like a 300 and something mile circle, right? Jeez. And all these little stops in between. So the problem was we ran into is like Dover's way up north, east of me, right? And up near Maine. And Needham is way southwest, right?
Oh, geez.
And it's just one fucking restaurant in each one. Okay. Now, our business model, when we weren't that busy, used to be, if I get one restaurant in a town, I'm not going to charge any minimums. I'm not going to charge a delivery fee. It's on me to get more customers.
Okay.
It's not their fault that I don't have business in their town, right? And that was a good business model for a long time. Now it's impossible. It's not a thing. So I either have to go minimums or delivery fee, which you can't do delivery fee. That doesn't work in this business. You have to just do minimums, or just tell them we're not going there anymore. So what happened was the Needham restaurant said, hey, for the winter, we're going to, it's slower. And I went, that's fine. And I'm just not reaching back out, And if he does, I'm going to have to tell him it's going to have to be a serious minimum. And I'm only going to one of your two restaurants. And I'm going to one that's closer. So the Dover restaurant, I should cut off because it's so fucking far out. It's only every other week, but he doesn't get a little bit, but he doesn't get a lot. It's not worth my time. But I like the guy, so I'm going to keep doing it. I have cities I should cut out. I have two cities I won't name them on here because
I get it.
Someone might watch this.
No, you said nobody watches this.
Someone might watch this. No, so like the wrong person might see this. Sure. There's one restaurant in one town that I really need to just drop. It only saves me 20 minutes, but whatever. That's a lot on a fucking 8-hour drive. Mm-hmm. And then another town that like was one of the first towns we sold in that we're just not doing much in anymore. And I don't see it really expanding back out. And I'm driving there for two restaurants and like $80 total. And it's like, and it's a bitch. It's not that it's on the route, but it's a time it's just a time constraint thing at this point.
You got to cut that off, dude.
Yeah, that one's got to get cut out.
That's what it sucks because, this is in my business. I built my bread and butter was fucking like cleaning up dog shit or cleaning gutters. But those little, and this is going to sound awful, but when I started, those little $85 jobs were where the money was at. But it's not anymore because it takes up too much time from all the other shit.
Yeah. Well, and you were building it, you knew that $85 job could turn into more. You know? And it's like, and I still believe, don't say no to new opportunities. I know it's tough because you don't know what the new opportunity could turn into, So like if I got a restaurant on board that's in my zone, or I think it could be potential. So for me, it's like develop a relationship with a chef and don't ruin it, right? Because you don't know where that chef's going to go. So it's tough for me to cut an area out because now it's like, well, what if that chef leaves and goes to some fucking giant company like a Google type thing, and they have this cafeteria, and they call me up and they're like, we need 9 pounds of something a week, and just it's coming no matter what. There's a cut and dry paycheck. I don't want to just say no, or ruin that relationship ahead of time. They find another microgreens guy and they give it to them, So that's what's my big dilemma is like, yeah, this is small business right now, like a small amount of business right now at this one place, but you never know when that changes, And if you give up on it, sometimes that fucks you in the long run. That's my problem. Like
I know, and
with your thing, that's a little different because your guy that you clean up dog shit for is not going to buy a chain of fucking banks, probably.
No, and it could have. The possibility was there, but I just had to look at. I've for the last 2 years, I've had to do the 80-20 thing where I had to take the 20% of the work that's giving me 80% of the income so that I could build this content creation thing. Because if I hadn't have done that, this wouldn't be what it is today, and it's jumped a lot in the last couple of months. And my goal was to be to a certain dollar amount by December 31st this year, basically enough that we could pay our bills off it. And I'm going to be fucking close.
Nice. This year, 23.
This year, 2023. Yeah.
Nice. So my goal for my YouTube channel was always just to make one mortgage payment, just in general.
I understand.
I think I actually hit it. I didn't know I hit it. I looked at my stats on the YouTube page and I was like, oh, look at that. I hit a mortgage payment. It only took 6 years or something ridiculous. So, it's, I don't know. Like,
it's weird though, because like this, what we're doing right now is I love this, 3 hours of just sitting and talking. Cause it's the only time I ever make time to actually talk to people I care about other than my family. Right.
Yeah.
And I love it. And it's fun. And so how do I put this? The return on a podcast is a lot harder to calculate or to realize as opposed to the return on a tool review video, right? I can look at a tool review video and I know exactly what my ad dollars, what my affiliate links, my sales were. Whereas building a podcast, I mean, yes, I know, I build my Patch of the Month Club off that. I have some sponsors off of that. But the rest of it is, okay, I have a podcast, so then I get asked to speak at events. I go to events, I get to sell some of my stuff at the events, but it also builds me, you know what I mean? Like it's a little harder to quantify, and I'm okay with that. I'm totally committed to it, but it's a weird kind of balance,
Yeah. My foray into this was just at one of Jack's events, and Dixie Mills was there.
Yes.
And just talking to her about how she did it and what she does, and talking to her about the money that she makes on it. Not that she's like, I don't want to disclose anything.
No, but she
knows she's not going to beat around the bush about it. She makes a full-time income off that,
Yeah.
And on all the stuff she does, and she works her ass off.
Yeah.
I was just like, man, if I can just get fucking a small piece of that pie, just as part-time job kind of real part-time job money, coming in, that would be fantastic. I did kind of get there at one point with the YouTube money was whatever. The Amazon money was whatever. The selling the grow trays was the thing. If I could, we're talking I'm talking if I worked as a line cook 1 day a week, right?
Yeah.
So, when it was $12 an hour is when my mind was there. So we're talking $400 a month was really what I was looking for,
Yeah.
And which is nothing really, right? That was so easy to get to. that 400
Right.
a month. Because the Amazon was 50 or 60. The YouTube was 50, 60. You know, so we're like, we're a third of the way there. I sell 4 cases of flats and I'm fucking golden. And I was doing it. I was selling 4 to 8 cases of this stuff a month. And it was because of the YouTube channel, you know? And it's like, if I had just kept doing it, I'd probably be in a lot better position, right? But I get to point one spring where I say, I just fucking can't. I get too much I got to do here, you know, like.
Because it is a lot of work.
Yeah.
Like, now here's the thing. I mean, I know people who have 50,000 subscribers on YouTube who aren't making 25% the money I'm making at it.
Wow.
You know, because you have to find the things that make you the money, and you got to like the hours you put into it. You know, I mean, lately I've been talking about TubeBuddy, and you know, that's an extra couple of hours per video where you go in and you do the deep dive into, like where you're going to show up in search results, what the title's going to do, what the thumbnail's going to do. This is shit I wish I'd learned 3 years ago.
So it's like an analytics helper kind of
thing.
It
is. You know, it costs a bit of money, but it's worth it. Everything. Yeah. But it's tough, you know, and so I've seen, you know, like 10 to 20% growth because of that. And that's at this point, that's a lot, right?
That's great. Yeah.
You just have to, and then I've got like the Amazon influencers thing is where it's like affiliates, but my fucking videos go right onto Amazon. I've put 5 videos up there. That's it. If I could get 100 on there, I would, like, it's unreal the money that I can make from there. Those 5 videos make me, let me see, last month, 5 videos make me 20% of all of my Amazon affiliate stuff at this point. And that's, I have 700 videos on YouTube and I have 5 on Amazon. So do the math.
5 like evergreen videos or 5 new ones?
5 that's it. On Amazon.
You've already made.
Yeah. So I took 5 videos, cut them down. They're 1-minute videos and they're all on Amazon right now. So when people look at
Amazon's platform.
Yeah. So,
I don't even know what that is.
Okay. So no, it's on it. So, you know, when you go like, say for instance, so my big one is the generator tent, that little tent thing that goes on your generator.
Yeah.
So if you look up Gen Tent right now on Amazon, you scroll down and you look at, you know, how people can post reviews or you want to see pictures or video of the product. Mm-hmm. So those videos that get featured are content creators who have a certain level of whatever, and it automatically puts you in the queue for affiliate sales.
Really?
So yeah. And so it took me a while to get into the program. So then I just throw 5 videos up and I see nothing. I'm like, what the fuck? Why did I waste my time? 2 months later, I get an email from Amazon. We can't pay you because you haven't filled in your
give it your tax shit or whatever.
Well, I already did. But this influencers thing is separate from the affiliates.
Oh, okay.
So I had to just go in and check one box saying, yes, my tax information. Now, it was only a couple $100, but those 5 videos sat there for 2 months and made me about $250 for nothing. Videos I'm already using everywhere.
Yeah.
So I should have fucking 100 of them on Amazon. I just haven't done it yet.
Yeah. No, I know. And I haven't done it yet. Yeah. That's with the planters is the whole I need to do it thing. Those slowed right down recently. It's kind of bugging me. I feel like I'm getting kind of fucked on Facebook ads right now. But anyway, maybe not. Maybe people just don't want them. So
maybe it's saturated for right now.
I think it might be that too. And
also,
mine isn't as nice looking as a lot of the ones that are out there for more money, but they're definitely worth more money. But
people have got their planting done now, though, John.
Not here.
Right?
Not here. We just had a frost 3 nights ago.
Well, I mean, we don't either, but I mean, we go buy the shit already. You know what I mean? Like most people have already kind of bought their planters and kind of had a.
The nice thing is I'll keep these available all year round. Why wouldn't I?
Oh, yeah. Whatever. You have them and do them. And
yeah, I make 12 at a time and just whatever. Right now is rain barrels coming up for me. But the business, like the microgreens thing, has been fucking madness. Like we crushed sales record in microgreens only. There's an asterisk next to every time I break a sales record, because one fucking week last year we sold like $1,200 in syrup.
Oh,
because we do resale.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so my total sales number for that 1 week is way high, but it's all based on just selling syrup.
Wedding gifts or something?
So I make like 25% on my syrup. Don't get me wrong. Okay. I'm not bitching about making money, right? But when I look at the record, right, for sales, it's like the microgreen sales that week. So we have 2 delivery days, and I have a spreadsheet where I break down the first delivery day.
Yep.
So it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So there's two categories.
Yep.
For the 2 delivery days. So I have my first delivery day, and it breaks it down: eggs, greens, resale. Okay. And then the second one, same thing. And then there's totals. So that week, Monday, or the first set of delivery days and the second delivery day are not even close to any records, right? So greens are fucking just the greens. Sorry. I know I'm all over the place here.
That's
the
right.
green sales, first delivery day, second delivery day, are like low. All right. They're not impressive. The first delivery day, there was no resale and no eggs. The second delivery day, there's no eggs and fucking $1,200 in syrup. So it just skews my week. That was my record sales number. The number,
I understand.
Right?
Yep.
So I should just say, let me take 25% of that number and call that what it is. You know what I mean? But whatever. Because I can sell a fuckload of syrup and it's only 25% profit on that, or 20, whatever.
Sure.
It's great, but it's not. The microgreens are huge, much bigger profit. So, so then I have weeks. So last week, Mother's Day, it's no surprise, right? That's our way over our sales record for microgreens in a week. But we just keep doing that because the week before was also a record. So it's the week, so 3 weeks ago was a record. Okay. Mother's Day week broke that record by like $400. And then last week would have been a record without the Mother's Day week. It beat the week before Mother's Day. You know what I mean? So
what's causing the increase?
Just more restaurants, and the New England economy is a whole fucking its own animal. It doesn't respond to recessions like the rest of the country, which is part of the reason I live here.
Nova Scotia was the same way.
Yeah, because it's so compacted, and there's so many people, and there's so much old money, and there's whatever. So at least that's my theory. So it's one reason I don't leave. Like, people, I don't know how you deal with the taxes. I'm like, I'll tell you why I deal with the taxes, because I can always fucking work. That's why. So, right. So we have new big restaurant accounts is what it really is. So my recession plan was to start selling more in Boston, because Boston's going to be relatively, within reason, recession proofed, unless the recession's so fucking bad that everyone's screwed no matter what.
Then you're going to eat your own microgreens.
Yeah. And so if there's a bad recession, a couple restaurants that I sell to down there might close, but the majority of them will be okay,
Sure.
And there's a lot of money down there and whatever. So I went into Boston October, about a year and a half ago. Really went in. I had restaurants down there, but I really went in, right?
Yeah.
We got one restaurant that was wanted a fucking discount, but I did it because they were big and I needed a big anchor account down there at the time, right? Then I got the rest of his restaurant group. Okay.
Ooh.
Little accounts. So the other two, one big one, 2 little ones. Fine. Then I added another 2 moderate accounts in Boston, right? It's all right near each other.
Yeah.
And then so we have a couple big accounts in New Hampshire already. One got busier. The other one, the chef started exclusively buying from us, and I nailed him down on a standing order, which is what needed to happen with him because he kept forgetting to order.
Yep.
That fucking blew up. That's $400 a week account, right?
Nice.
And I got, so a chef got fired from one of the small restaurants in Boston, or quit or something, and opened a new big Italian restaurant in Woburn, Mass. And I got that because of him. And that's $400, $500 a week, right?
Nice.
And the big restaurant in Portsmouth that I was talking about, that I got the guy in the standing order, that restaurant group opened another restaurant right near that other big Italian restaurant. They're a $500 a week account. And that just fell into my lap. Then a couple months ago, I did a marketing call and got positive results basically from this company in Boston called Atlantic Fish Co. It's a very popular restaurant in Boston, and that's going to be huge. I don't have that yet, but it's not happening yet, but it's going to happen kind of thing. I'm actually reaching out to him tomorrow to be like, hey, we have this we can start you out with kind of thing. But that's why I've had to plant, my planting has increased massively. But we're crushing sales. And then with this new Atlantic Fish Co. is big. It's right on Newbury Street in Boston. It's fucking huge. right next door is a place called Abe and Louie's, where I got hired as a busboy when I was homeless in New England the first 2 weeks I lived here.
Wow.
And they own that restaurant too. So I'm going to get that probably down the road once we settle in with the first one. And then they have 2 more. So that could get like scary because those 4 could be what we were doing in sales total a year ago.
Oh, Jon, that's awesome.
Else, in addition to everything else we're doing now. So like right now we're over $3,000 a week in greens, and like that restaurant group could add $2,000, which is fucking nuts. I don't even know what I'll do with that other than like look more tired than I am right now. So, but yeah, it's a good time, I guess. I don't know. It's madness. It blew up. The plan worked. That was the plan. The plan
That's
was
what you do. Yeah.
The plan was she needs to not have to go back to work, to stay home and be with our son, right?
Yeah.
Stay home mom. And the microgreens business needs to pay both of our salaries. Okay. And we need to recession proof by doing more sales in Boston. Every single one of those things is working so far. So that's nice. And the barrels need to be like a part-time job income, which they're probably more, but
that's good.
That's a weird flow with that. Like a month ago, like that night I came on your show.
Yep.
Was fucking burn barrels, and like that's a big thing in the fall and spring here, right? Like so it's like I was selling not a crazy amount, but like 3 or 4 a day, right? Yep. I make $20 a whack. So okay, I'll take 8. I'll roll out of bed and make $80 every day. That's fine. Right. And now it's rain barrels, which I make about 30 on 30, 40. Nice. And I'll sell probably 40 of those in the next few weeks,
Okay.
And then regular, just like dock barrels and all that shit. Big accounts come along. Like I have commercial accounts that do like waste disposal type, like hazmat cleanup type shit, and they need like, hey, we need 20. Okay, cool. I made $400 today, whatever, like great. And that happens a lot in barrel land because it's like I think I made like $30 today, right?
Sure.
Fine. I was kind of taking the day off, so I didn't give a shit. I could wake up tomorrow and get a call and make 600, with barrels, like profit. And like, it's just that shit happens. Last year I had a movie set company.
Wow.
This time of the year, it was some Marvel movie with like a woman that was filmed south of Boston. That's all I know. I'm sure it's out there.
Okay.
They blew up a fucking fireworks factory or something. I hope it's out because I was told not to talk about this. It's got to be out, right? Maybe not. Could be in post. I'm ruining everything now.
Whatever.
Poor Marvel. I feel so bad for them. So it was like a $4,000 sale. Like yes. Profit. And then they fucking gave them all back, and I sold them again.
Oh my God. That is because to them, it was probably cheaper to just give them back than it was to dispose of them.
They were fucking awesome to work with. These set design people, they were thrilled that I was coming to get them because they called me and they're like, hey, instead of selling them, do you want to do a lease agreement? And I was like, anything changed? And they're like, nope, not. I'm like, money's same. Like, yep, cool. And like in the beginning, I was trying to cut them a deal and they were like, stop it, basically, Yep. Stop trying. We're a movie company and we're doing a Marvel movie. Stop trying to cut us a deal. I was like, okay, no problem. Yeah. So I had to deliver 140 barrels to fucking South Weymouth or something. And it was they can't. Yeah, right. I have another deal every year where I sell 20 barrels to a local restaurant for Cinco de Mayo outdoor patio barricades, and I pick them up 2 days later.
That's awesome. And you make your money.
Charge of a delivery fee. I just sell them to them at full price. And then I go pick them up. And then what I usually do is I make those barrels into rain barrels and sell them for $50 a whack. And I've already made $15 a piece on them. So
that's awesome.
It's fucking $65 times 20. Beautiful, right?
I hope somebody out there is taking notes tonight because there's lots. Yeah.
Just don't compete with me.
Whatever. I always say,
There's actually so I've been slower because it is saturated here.
Sure.
There's way more people doing it now. And that's always a thing. With the microgreens, we have an edge, and I can stay way ahead of most people that want to compete with us. Because most people aren't willing to do the fucking work, frankly. They don't want to wash. They don't want to dry. They don't even want to harvest. They just want to grow it and deliver live fucking greens, which is dumb.
Okay.
They die. Like, if you're a chef, you might as well just fucking plant them if you're getting live greens, because that's the easy part.
Right.
Like if you're talking about 3 trays, just put a neon light on a fucking shelf in your kitchen and get
but no chef wants to do
trays,
that, do they?
It's super easy to do it small scale like that. So if you have some dickhead producer just showing up with live greens, here you go, you cut it and water it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
we harvest everything to order, or within 24 hours, wash everything, dry it, package it, custom packaging, or like custom amounts, and deliver that. No one does it, So nobody can compete with that.
How big of a package is 1 pound of microgreens?
Depends on the green, but like one of those,
okay,
like Rubbermaid take-alongs. It's like I think that's a gallon one.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so 4.4 liters. There you go.
Well, that's a British gallon, isn't it? I think that's a British gallon.
That's what it says, 1.1 gallons. 1.1 gallon, 1 gallon.
Okay.
But that's like a regular green, like radish, peas, sunflower, salads. When you get into herbs, they're more bulky. So that would only hold like 8 ounces of cilantro. So, we sell like 14 pounds of cilantro a week.
Really?
It's the worst. It's the worst one to grow.
Why is it just finicky?
Yeah. It's hard to get it to grow. It's hard to get it to germinate without rotting. And fucking A. Like there's weeks where I'm just like, I'm gonna fucking quit. I needed 60 trays and 28 went wrong, that kind of thing. And I was up till 5:30 in the morning planting them,
oh dear God.
Yeah. When that happens, you're just like, I fucking quit.
Yeah.
It'd be like if you went and painted a house. I know I don't think you do that, but let's pretend.
Yeah.
You probably painted.
Oh yeah, I paint a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's say you went. No, let's do. What do? You wash.
I can
windows?
tell you what it's like.
Do you wash windows?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Let's say you had a big building that you had to wash windows on, and there were 80 windows, and they were high, and you had to get up on the fucking thing, right? And then did it, and you billed the customer, and they called you the next day, or they called you like 4 days later when you were really busy with other shit, and told you cleaned the windows on the wrong fucking building. It was their competitor.
Sure.
It's that. It's like, oh my God. That's what it is.
I had to paint a bathroom in an old house here in town, and the guy said, it's got wallpaper. Go ahead and paint over the wallpaper. Now, it's not ideal, but I have done that many times in the past, and I've done really well with it. I use bin and stick it, and it goes on. And anyway, no problem. So I went in, I primed the whole thing. It looked okay, not bad. I did a second coat. The next day I go back. The wallpaper, I've never seen this. I took video of it. So it had flower patterns in the wallpaper. Wherever the flowers were, the paint cracked. So get looking into it. They think it was lead in the coloring of the flowers, because it's the only thing that the paint wouldn't stick to.
Oh yeah, right. Like, yeah.
So I had to tear everything off and start over. But yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I was gonna say it's like you painted a house and it was the wrong color.
Yeah.
You have to do it again or something. Like that's what it's like to grow cilantro and have it fucking rot. Oh, like it's the worst. So we leased the other side.
Yep.
I moved planting over there, and that seems to have fixed a lot of the problems.
Ooh.
Thank God. I had a hunch that would happen because I felt like there was just the conditions weren't quite right over here, kind of thing, with everything else that goes on in this room, and full grown stuff. And sometimes there's a little surface mold or something, whatever is going to happen. And so I have a hunch that type of shit was affecting certain crops at planting, right? So then you cover it up, and it really doesn't have much oxygen, and it's wet, and whatever that is was just destroying fucking trays, Yeah. So I moved it all over to the new room where there's none of that going on, and it seems to have instantly fixed the problem, which means I can plant less and get more.
Sure.
So like without that, I might not be sitting here talking to you about microgreens, honestly, because like it was like 6 weeks ago. I just I had 40 trays coming out of germination, and 32 of them or something were total loss.
Oh.
And I'm like, and I have new accounts that want cilantro only, at the time, that one big restaurant that I got.
Of course.
And it's like, you can't get a new account and then tell them you don't have it. You know what I mean? Like 2 months in, because they're just going to fire you and go back to the fucking produce company. You're too much of a hassle,
Oh, sure. Yeah. So, because you're not the guy.
Yeah. And like, it was fucking getting freaky. And I just looked at Jenny and I was like, if we can't grow cilantro, we can't stay in business because that's where most of our money is, you know? And I was like, we just have to go out of business or something and do something else. Like, I don't know. And then just fucking magic, it started growing in the other room. And I was like, look at that. Oh my God. Like, I was pulling cilantro out of germination over here some days when she was here. And I would have to I'd go, I'm going to take cilantro out of germination. You need to go home.
Because you're going to get ugly.
Rage.
Yeah.
Fucking pure rage. So like there was a day where I pulled cilantro and she was here and I just fucking snapped. And I was like, I just want one fucking tray to not have rot on it. Like it was every single tray week after week. There would be some rot somewhere on the tray. Even if I had a good tray, there'd be a chunk the size of a baseball I had to pull out.
Yeah.
And frustrating. I just want one. And then like 3, 4, or 5 weeks ago, whenever we moved to the other room and started playing on it, it's all a fucking blur. I had a whole round. A round is 8 trays because I plant in groups of 8.
Okay.
Because my flood tables hold 8. So I fucking called her and I go, okay, I know you're not going to believe me, but I'm standing here at the grow room and I'm looking at 8 trays of cilantro and there isn't one spot on any one of them. I have an entire 8 trays that are perfect out of germination from the new room. Like, and it was right when we first started going over there. And it was just that moment. You're just like, fuck, and thank God. Like, I just, wow. You know, like, it was super stressful. Like, that whole stretch was wicked stressful. And because it's like, I don't have time anyway, you know? And then it's like, okay, nope, you're going to have to do more. Somehow you're going to have to fucking do more. Right? So, yeah. All right, man. We hit 3 hours. I have to go plant cilantro.
No, it's good. There's still 5 people in here.
I was looking I pulled up the other screen and I'm like, it was down to 2 at one point. And I was like, oh, can we outlast everybody?
You can't. So on YouTube, you can't always see everybody. I can also see the numbers from Twitch and YouTube and Facebook. But yeah, okay. We got 5. I appreciate you guys. I don't know if I'll probably split this into 2 episodes.
There you go.
This is fucking gold. It's 3 hours of talk radio.
So your hook is I tell the brick joke the first half.
Oh,
yes. And then you fucking cut it right after your joke.
I think I will. That would be awesome.
Come in or something like right around there.
I was going to close with a fucking story about the brick. You just ruined my no.
Did I cut it out? Cut it out.
I'm just kidding. It was awesome. So yeah.
So now on that joke to piggyback. So I have a good friend Duncan who I heard that joke from him 30 years ago. We were line cooks together, and we like kind of compete and who can tell that joke better, you know. And I'm notorious for fucking up the end. Right?
You did good.
So like at the end sometimes I'll go, oh, the dog was sitting on the wing of the plane with the brick in its mouth, and it's like, oh, I fucked it up, you know. I fucked up the hook, the suspense, you know, whatever. Yeah. So anyway, so we go back and forth. Now though, this is the fun part for me. This is so stupid. Every time I'm on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist and I see a listing for free bricks, I fucking copy and paste the link and send it to them in like public forums that we're in for memes. Like people are like, why do you keep sending 20, 30 people? Why are you sending posts for free bricks in Manchester, New Hampshire? I'm like, because Duncan wants fucking free bricks for his fireplace. That's why, like, all the time. And it's just stupid inside joke, you know, but it's like, it's fun because it's never ending. Like,
I appreciate it.
I tipped like 2 days ago, sent him a free pallet of bricks. Here you go, dude. Like, here's your ad, free pallet of bricks. Go get it. He lives in fucking Montana now, though.
He'd love it.
But,
so if people want to, how do they follow up with you? You got to get some sort of shameless promotion in here at some point.
I don't know. I never know what to promote on these because everything I do is local.
I know.
There was a guy in your group who is local here, but if he wants something, we'll work it out.
Yeah.
I think he was the guy who was going to build maple sap evaporators, maybe. I think that was him.
Oh, okay.
And I have barrels for that. And I'm like, ooh, I'm getting freebie barrels I can hook you up with, and then we could sell the evaporators. That's where the money would be. But yeah, I mean, I have my website. If you want to buy microgreens flats, you can buy them there. You have to buy 100 though. So if you're not going to be like real hardcore into it, I do have another website, Microgreens School.
Right.
I don't remember if there's 2 S's or not. I started this project 3 years ago. I was migrating all my shit over there because it's not Wix. I have Wix for my Dowie Farm website, and it sucks. And I was trying to move all my shit for selling, because I don't just sell microgreens trays. Technically, I can sell pots, like cases of fucking 1,200 4-inch pots, that kind of stuff. If you're starting a lot of seeds, and shuttle pots and the trays they go in and all that, I have all that available. It's all drop shipped, so I just have a decent connection for good pricing. And I have a YouTube channel. It's Dowie Farm, youtube.com/C/Dowie Farm.
The weird thing.
That's how that works. Yeah. And we have a lot of instruction over there, I feel like. And yeah. And that's it. I don't know. I'm not really trying to sell anything.
That's fine. Maybe we should try once a month. Maybe we could do once a month.
I can try. It probably can't be 3 hours.
No, I know.
But it will be.
I know. That's the problem, because last fucking time you come on, we talk for a half hour before the show starts. We do an hour and a half show, and then we fucking talk for 2 hours after the show.
After we got off, and I was like,
I know.
Dude, I got to go do work. Like, it's like tonight. It's midnight.
I know. You need to go. We'll end the show
4
here
hours of planting.
because I don't want you to go into a diabetic coma, and then I have to deal with your widow tomorrow. I don't want that. So, well, thanks, Mr. Dowie. We will do it again, and it won't be a year and a half until we do it again. So
yeah, that was fun. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. Well, guys, let's end it here. Stay happy, stay healthy, and have a great week. I always love doing this.